Alright, my friends, so in the previous video we have talked about variables and we have answered the three important questions: what, why, and how. And now we are gonna do the exact same thing with functions, but now we are gonna take specifically the arrow function, which is the new feature in ECMAScript 6. And first of all, here I have wrote all the code for the previous types of functions, and most of you already know these types of functions. So here we have three functions with the exact same name, which is something that is not valid. But now I just wanna simulate an example. So here we have the first type of function which we can create by using the function keyword. Okay, then give it any name, then these parentheses, and then color braces for adding the body of our function. All right, now let's go ahead and convert this function right here to an arrow function. Now, of course, before we get started, what functions are? Functions are just a piece or a few lines of code that will get executed in a specific time. All right, so we have the creation time and the execution time. All right, functions are just a few lines of code that will get executed in a specific time. All right, and we can take control of the execution time. Why we are going to use functions? We are using functions for more than one reason, but the main reason is that to split our code into blocks, and we keep it organized and readable as much as we can. So instead of writing the entire code in one function or in one let's say class or in one place, we can use function to divide our code in multiple places. For example, we have the save functionality, we have the login functionality, we have all sorts of functionalities. So we can give or divide our code into multiple places, multiple functions. So each function will take care of a specific job. Okay, so we can keep it organized as much as we can. Now, how we are going to use function? Now, this is the old way of using function, which is to write the function keyword, give it a name, once again parentheses and color braces. Now let's go ahead and convert this function right here to an arrow function, okay, which is the new feature. The first thing first, we are gonna get rid of this function keyword. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of it. Then we need to define a constant. Okay, so once again we are gonna use the constant. Okay, then give it any name. Okay, in this case save. Okay, then after the function name you should type equal. Okay, then the parentheses. After the parentheses you need to add an arrow. Now an arrow, it's really an equal sign and the greater than or the smaller than sign. We have it right here. Okay, so this is an arrow function. So once again, get rid of your function keyword, replace it with a constant like so. After the name of the function, give it an equal sign, then the parentheses right here, and we have an arrow. Okay, then the color braces like so. So this is an arrow function. Okay, now what is the difference between a normal function and an arrow function? Now we have some function we have some difference between them, and this is really about this keyword and the scope and so on. This is of course not our topic for this lecture. We are gonna explain that in a later video. Okay, I just want to show you how to convert a normal function into an arrow function. So that was the first type of functions. Let's take a look on the second type of functions, which is functions that take a parameter. Okay, so once again we are gonna get rid of the function keyword, replace it with a constant. Okay, and now once again we have, after the name of the function, we have to add an equal sign. Okay, after the parentheses I'm gonna add my arrow like so, and we have the body like so. Now a quick note, here we are passing our parameter. Okay, now quick note right here, if you are using one parameter, you can optionally get rid of these parentheses and keep it like so. Okay, this is works only if you have one parameter. If you have more than one parameter, for example post and let's say an ID or whatsoever, then you have to add the parentheses. All right, this is how it works for the functions that take a parameter. How about the functions that return something? Okay, we can do the exact same thing. I'm gonna convert const, and after the name we should add the equal sign. Then here I'm gonna add my arrow, and we are good to go. So this is how you can use arrow functions in your code. Now a quick note right here, this constant right here, it's not something required. Okay, you can replace it, for example, with let. Okay, but 100% of these cases that you are going to work with, and I'm going to show you, it is using the const keyword like so. Okay, so it is just by convention, or it's more, we are using constant in most of the cases. So this is how you can use arrow functions in your code. Keep that one in mind. We are going to use it a lot in our examples. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you, my friends, so much for watching, and see you in the next one.